you for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, where we discuss the latest news of the week in baseball. I am Ben.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And we are here again making another episode here. So, Jeremiah, this is going to be a little quick episode. We did have some technical difficulties, unfortunately, for you guys. So we're going to make this kind of short and sweet. We had a longer episode earlier, so they kind of overlap each other there in that aspect. So what do we have on tap for everyone? What's our lineup for today?
Lineup for today, we got Jose Reyes. We got him. We're going to discuss him in a little bit. Disney for assignment, Rockies shortstop. And we're going to talk about the return of Tim Lincecum, making his first start since June of last year. And we're going to discuss kind of like the NL race for Cy Young a little bit. So many good pitching in the league, in the National League right now. And another pitcher wants to go to the home run derby at the end of the show. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that as well. Yeah, so you want to start things off with the Jose Reyes news?
Yeah, so Jose Reyes, the Colorado Rockies shortstop, has been designated for assignment. That was as of yesterday. So now the Rockies have 10 days to either trade him, release him, or have him take a step down here into the minor leagues.
Yeah, the way that this story has transpired, well, obviously I can understand from a business standpoint and from a PR standpoint, I get it, because the Rockies, they got Trevor Story and they seem to be really happy with him the way he's playing right now. And the things that went on with Jose Reyes in the offseason, off the field.
The domestic violence.
Yeah, in Hawaii. Yeah, it's not surprising, and I don't know if there's any team that's interested in him right now, honestly.
I do hear that the Royals might be interested in Jose Reyes. So they would have to work out something with a trade. I would imagine that the Rockies would probably have to eat most of that contract because he does have a huge contract still.
A fat contract.
So I would imagine that the Rockies would have to eat most of that contract because I don't see the Royals picking it up. He's had a lot of injury concerns. He's really been away from the game recently.
And not only that, do you see him going back to an everyday role?
No.
Like he was when he was in Miami, and
I see him
when he was in Blue Jays before he got traded to Colorado.
I see him as a utility player step in every now and then. Someone's injured, someone has a day off. Maybe if he goes to an NL team, maybe as a pinch hitter for the AL. If he maybe goes to the Rockies, they don't really have that. They have the DH. So I don't see him being an everyday guy anymore. He's
Yeah, I don't either.
It's not there anymore. He's got the injury problems.
Yeah, he's 33 years old, so he's getting out there in age. And the injury problems, like you said. And he just doesn't show that he still has a little bit of speed. I'll give him that. I'm not going to tell him that. But his contact, he doesn't make as much contact as he did as he was earlier in his career.
Yeah, he's definitely on the downside of his career. He's not in his prime anymore. In his prime, he was a great player for the Mets.
Oh, yeah. Well, because something I want to point out, his WAR, wins above replacement, it was 3.5 with the Toronto Blue Jays in 2014. But last year, when he got traded, to Colorado, it went to 0.5. So that is a huge drop-off. And, so that tells you the type of player that he was when he got traded to Colorado. It's amazing because Colorado is a great hitter's park too. Also,
the ball really carries there with the atmosphere, with the climate and stuff of Colorado.
Yeah, he just didn't really do a lot for them.
So the Rockies now have 9 days to decide what they want to do with Reyes. Obviously, they're going to try and find a trade partner for him. I don't see them really sending him down to the minors and just keeping him there. There's really no benefit there. You're paying him to help out the young guys. I mean, that doesn't really see that happening. And also releasing him, I'm not sure about that. So that's about it for Jose Reyes. We're going to move on now to Tim Lincecum. He is now an Angels pitcher. He's getting ready to make his first start on Saturday, looks like against the A's. So Lincecum here, he's done pretty well in his first 3 starts in the minor league series. He's got a 2.65 ERA. His last start, he carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning. He ended up only giving up 1 hit in 7 innings. So
against Fresno Grizzlies in AAA, and that was a hitters league, the Pacific Coast League, hitters league. So he did really good coming back. 19 strikes in 17 innings and all his starts. So do you think big time Timmy Jim is back?
No way, man. he's past his days of the Cy Young Award winner he was for the Giants. He's 31 years old now, which is, for pitchers, I feel like you can get away with your age a little bit more than as opposed to a hitter, but I don't really expect much out of him. Maybe he'll be the good end of the rotation guy. Maybe he'll be a long reliever. I don't see much.
He wants to be a start. He doesn't want to be a long reliever. That's the reason why.
Yeah, but he might have to just do whatever the Angels say. So.
That's the reason why the Giants. That's the reason why I didn't want to sign with the Giants. He didn't want to be a long reliever.
Yeah, the Giants gave him that monster deal 2 years ago. I still can't believe he got that deal, and he really did not live up to expectations. He had a really disappointing season, and then obviously started off the year not being on a team. He had his little tryout for the teams, and good for Lincecum that the Angels saw something in him and decided to give him a contract here, and he's going to get his shot again in the majors coming up in a couple of days.
Yeah, and something I want to point out. When he won the Cy Young in 2008, when he was 18-5, he had a 10.5 strikeouts per inning ratio. The year after that, 2009, when he won back-to-back Cy Youngs, he had a little bit drop off in the record at 15-7, but he also had 10.4 strikeouts per inning per 9 innings, and the two following years after that, it went to 9.7, 9.1. So it started to drop off a little bit, but he started to really struggle in 2012, actually, when he had his ERA went as up as 5.1, when he had 2.74 ERA in 2011. So 2011 was really the last year when we had a good Lincecum. And for some reason, after 2011, his ERA went from 5.18, and then the year after that, actually the following 3 years after that, it was at it was above 4 every year, actually. So he had 4 good years of Lincecum and then 4 bad years.
Yeah, you mentioned he was really a big strikeout pitcher earlier in his day.
And it just fell off. His control got worse as his career went on with the Giants in the past 4 years. So, and his home run per nine ratio got extremely high. And yeah, man, I just don't know. It's gonna, especially, and I was in the National League. When you face pretty much 8 hitters, he's in the American League when they have the DH. So
he's facing really 9 solid hitters. He's not facing 8 and a pitcher who there's some good hitting pitchers out there, but for the most part they're not real threats. So.
Exactly. So he's going against 9. He's pretty much facing an extra batter now. So I don't know how he's going to do with the Angels. Even though the Angels do need Lincecum right now, because they had that rotation's been decimated by injuries this year. With Gary Richards, Andrew Haney, those guys. So. I don't know. I'm really interested to see him come back. I loved watching Timmy when he was with the Giants in his prime. Especially in the 2010 playoffs when he was lights out.
He had such a nasty changeup.
Yeah,
especially later on in his prime, as you mentioned. Such a nasty changeup.
Yeah, it was nasty. So I'm really excited to see him come back. If he does good, then okay, he does good. If he does bad, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, he really has. In my opinion, he has nothing to really lose here because he's already. Yeah. I think he's already experienced rock bottom. He wasn't even on a team, so he really has nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I look at the Angels as well. They didn't give him a monster deal like the Giants did. They're just trying to hopefully get something out of him and see what they can. And
they need pitching, like I said.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he feels a need. And as you mentioned, Lincecum, he was a great strikeout pitcher early in the day. So for AAA Salt Lake, he struck out 19 batters in 17 innings in his 3 starts.
And the strikeout per 9 ratio that he had in 3 starts was 10.06. So, the potential is still there for him to succeed. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. So we're going to take
maybe we'll talk about it next week. I don't know how he does
his first start.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
if it's that good,
we'll have to wait and see. But so we're going to take our first commercial break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about more NL pitching. Obviously, Lincecum now an AL pitcher, but he really had his heyday there with the Giants in the NL. So we'll talk about more about the NL pitching, and then we'll go into another pitcher wanting to get into the home run derby. So we'll be right back here at the GSMC Baseball Podcast.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, and for our next segment, we're going to discuss the NL Cy Young race as it's currently heating up right now.
Definitely heating up, as you mentioned, Jeremiah. We have a ton of names who could possibly be in that race right now.
I can name them off for you right now. We got actually 4 pitchers with 10 wins. 4 pitchers. And they're all tied for the National League right now. So I got Johnny Cueto, who's been lights out for the San Francisco Giants after signing with them in the offseason at 10-1, ERA of 2.10, and a WHIP at 1. And yeah, man, he's just been phenomenal for them this year. For a team that really needed pitching.
And they made a splash with Samardzija and Cueto in the offseason to go along with Madison Bumgarner, who's also going to be on this list possibly.
And I'll tell you right now, that 3-headed monster, they're going to be tough in the playoffs because I think the way that this team has been playing, they're going to probably make the playoffs. But moving on to the list, Clayton Kershaw, who has been...
No real surprise there.
He has been... I just don't know what is with Kershaw. To me, he's not even human.
You know what I find the most interesting about Kershaw?
What?
Okay, so he has 133 strikeouts.
Yes.
He's got 7 walks.
I know that. That's why
he's walked 7 batters.
7 batters
in 108 innings.
Exactly. That it's like, is this dude even human?
He's got 7 walks
in 108. That is unbelievable. That's unheard. Like Cueto, he has 20 walks and 102. Dude, that is just phenomenal. And not only that, his WHIP is at 0.6 and an ERA of 1.5. I'm like, man,
I think if the season ends today, he'd probably win it.
Yeah, he will.
I mean,
he's not gonna win it. You know, like he's gonna have some competition though.
Yeah, well, we're talking about it, but yeah. So Kershaw picked up his 10th win yesterday as they beat the Diamondbacks 3-2.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. He's just not human to me. And to another guy who is also not very human at all is the Chicago Cubs ace Jake Arrieta. So even though he's only pitched 87 innings, he's been really good. 10-1, 0.95 WHIP, 1.86 ERA, 90 strikeouts in the 87 innings, like I previously said. And yeah, he's also has a no-hitter as well.
Yes.
And he has 2 dating back to late last season as well. So yeah, he's just been, not only that, so I think he's hit more home runs than he has allowed also.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dating back to, I think, like late last season. But yeah, man, he's another guy that is in this race. And next on the list is Steven Strasburg in the Washington Nationals, who's 10-0. He's on a 13-0 run dating back to last season.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see Strasburg doing well because he struggled really early on with the injuries as well. So his ERA is a lot higher than the rest of the names on the list. He's rocking with a 2.9 ERA, but he doesn't have a loss yet, so he's getting those run support from the Nationals.
Yeah. Not only that, he's at 118 strikeouts in 93 innings. So, yeah, and these guys are, like, I'm looking at the leaderboard here. All these guys are tied at 1. They're ranked like number 1 and the leaderboards in for most wins. So
yep, yeah. The NL starting pitching has been very good.
It is really deep, and the list doesn't even stop there. You know, you got guys like Greinke, who's coming back from a terrible start. He's been pitching well. You got Jose Fernandez, who has a credible rebound from Tommy John surgery. Lester, another Cubs pitcher. Scherzer, another Nationals pitcher. Madison Bumgarner, who we kind of mentioned a little bit. And actually, another name in the top 10 on the list is Tyler Chatwood of Colorado. Wow, he's even doing some work over there.
Yeah, he's currently 8-4.
Wow.
He's got an ERA of 2.89, so not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah,
you mentioned Bumgarner here. He's 8-2, which on the wins rank is kind of below, but he's got a 1.91 ERA, which is tied for fourth, and he's only given up 2 or less runs in 11 consecutive starts. So, I mean, there's so many great starting pitching here. As far as the NL Cy Young race, I'd say if the season ended now, you probably have to go with Kershaw. He's been the best one, but
I would, no doubt.
But as you look at it, Arrieta winning it last year, really solely based on his second half of the season. So we'll have to wait and see that pitcher who really makes a great after the All-Star break campaign building there. So think about how good this starting pitching is going to be for the All-Star game.
Man, it is going to be.
Like, who do you choose?
Who do you start?
Who do you choose?
You start Cueto, Kershaw, Arrieta. Who do you start?
The list goes on and on. It's definitely going to be a positive for them because the MLB All-Star game is so important because the winner gets home field advantage for the World Series for their respective league. So, I mean, it obviously depends on how they fall in the order, if they pitch before the All-Star break or they're in line for a start. And they only pitch 1 or 2 innings, really, anyway. So, but I don't know. This NL pitching has been great. Like, the list goes on and on. I don't really know.
Yeah, don't forget, you got the guys in New York, too, as well. Syndergaard.
Syndergaard's doing really well. His ERA's as well under 2. So
John Lackey's even doing pretty well for the Cubs as their number 3 guy, Yeah,
the wins and the ERAs are really standing out for the NL side. On the AL side, you have people like Chris Sale who lead with 11 wins, but his ERA is almost 3. So
you said Chris Hill?
Chris Sale.
Oh, sorry.
Chris Sale of the White Sox.
Yeah, I know you. I thought you said his name wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the AL side goes for the pitching wise, Danny Salazar has the lowest ERA in the AL at 2.19.
Yes,
so not even one guy under 2 in the AL as opposed to 5 here in the NL. So
even I'm not gonna lie, the AL, I'm looking at the slate list of pitchers, it's a little weaker, but it's still pretty solid. You got guys like you said, Chris Sale, Jordan Zimmerman, who had a great start, he's struggling. Chris Tillman, he's back to his ace ways dating back to 2 years ago, and Rich Hill from the Oakland Athletics, who's emerged as their ace, even though he's on the DL right now. You got guys like Josh Tomlin, who's had a great year, great run support. Stephen Wright, he was supposed to be a stopgap spot starter, and he emerged himself as being among the top 5 guys on our roster. So, yeah.
Yeah, the NL pitching has been phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out the rest of the season.
Actually, who do you think AL Cy Young is probably no doubt Chris Sale as of right now?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, because like you see, there's kind of like a huge drop off. And starting pitching, like nothing against them. It's just that Sale has just been really dominant compared to the National League. I don't know. Like Kershaw would win it right now, but at the end of the season, I don't know who's going to win it. American League, I think Chris Sale is going to win it.
I agree. We still have a long season go. Obviously, injuries and they're going to take place and stuff. But so real quick here, we're going to move on to our last topic here. It's going to be a really quick one. So we talked about Bumgarner wanting to be in the Home Run Derby on our first episode of the podcast here. And now there has some other news that 2 more pitchers want to be a part of that on the National League side. So obviously because they're the only pitchers hitting. So Jake Arrieta has wanting to throw his hat into the ring there, as well as Adam Wainwright from the Cardinals. So Wainwright this season, he's hitting .261 with 1 home run and 10 RBIs in 23 at-bats. So what I'm sort of thinking here, what do you think if MLB did like a pitchers only home run derby? Like, what would you think of? Because obviously they're not going to have all 3 of them in.
No,
maybe they'll take 1, but what if they did like a pitchers only home run derby? What would you sort of think about that?
Having a pitchers home run derby, you know what? It definitely would be entertaining, but I think it might get more hyped than the actual home run derby itself.
Exactly, which would be good.
It would be good for baseball. You got not only that, you got Syndergaard who can hit as well. Steven Matz. The Mets pitchers, they're pretty good at hitting, so it'll be fun to see pitchers going against each other.
I would like it. That'd be interesting.
Hashtag,
I would watch it.
Hashtag pitchers who rake. I just gotta say that, but
Yeah, I would like that. I think that'd be interesting. We'll see what happens. All these guys obviously aren't going to get in. Maybe one of them will. Probably Bumgarner is the best hitting pitcher, but these other guys are making claims for themselves as well. I'd say make a pitchers only home run derby like a sort of a side event.
Yeah.
I like it.
You think it'll be more of a side effect? Like you think it should be before the actual home run derby, or?
Well, before or after, sort of, they do like a charity softball game thing. Why not just put a pitchers only derby? I would like that.
Yeah, it's not charity softball game; it's a celebrity.
Well, I know that, but they have they play for like charity and stuff as well.
Wait, don't they do that for the home run derby, or they used to? I'm not really quite sure.
I don't know. They used to do. There's always promotions and stuff going on, but
yeah, I think the idea of a pitcher's home run derby, I think it's a nice idea to like try it out. To see what kind of audience it draws, and if it does really well, you never know. They might emerge. They might put these pitchers in the actual home run derby.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Bumgarner is to me is the only guy that can probably compete in it, but. And in a pitcher's only home run derby, Madison Bumgarner's going to win that hands down. That's just me.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it'll happen.
Right.
I don't know. But this is going to conclude this episode of the GSMC Baseball Podcast. Alongside Jeremiah, I am Ben. You can listen to us about a million different ways. You can hear us on gsmcpodcast.com, hear us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. You can find us on YouTube. Links are on Instagram. There's a million different ways you can find us here. And there's a ton of other podcasts you can listen to as well that are great. So, I feel like it's a good episode, Jeremiah.
Oh, it was great. Every episode is good.
That's true. Exactly. So this is going to conclude it here. We'll be back next week with a couple more episodes. We hope you have a good week, and thank you for listening.